Joining us now is the top management of Sapphire Foods, Sanjay Purohit, the whole-time director as well as the group CEO. Good morning. Welcome to ET Now. So a good set of numbers. There was, of course, a low base effect that was at play. Going forward now, when we're hearing so much about revenge dining out, the food aggregator apps have also taken off. The first question is, the kind of growth that you've seen, particularly in the last couple of months, is it going to be sustainable for the rest of the year?
So undoubtedly, when you look at numbers versus last year, you're right. They look a little inflated perhaps. But Nayantara, we've had we've had a really, really good quarter. And there's a simple reason for it. One, of course, the brands are doing well. KFC and Pizza Hut are continuing to do well. But it's the first quarter since perhaps October, December 2019, when we've had absolutely no operational disturbances. And as a result of which, Dine In is back. You're seeing footfalls in malls. You're seeing films getting released in theaters. And therefore, when there is economic activity outside the home restarting, in a sense, that is when brands like KFC and Pizza Hut do see the upside. So dine-in recovery, as you mentioned, we are back to pre-COVID levels in KFC, perhaps a tad lower in Pizza Hut to about 85%. That's because still there are markets like Karnataka and Kerala where dine-in has not fully come back. But this augurs well for this industry.
Okay, so KFC almost back at pre-COVID levels. Pizza Hut still has to make it there. So Sanjay, tell us something. Did you guys raise prices? I believe you did in the first quarter. So with Mehngai there, pressure on the wallet, you're continuing to see footfalls. Will we see more price hikes?
So inflation on both the brands wasn't the double digits, Nayantara. And we would have been seeing from, say, March onwards. But we've taken price increases lower than inflation. So in the case of KFC, we took about a price increase of 9%. And cumulatively, in the first quarter, in Pizza Hut, 2 price increases, about 5%. And then in end of July, another 2.5-3%. So well below inflation. Now, with this, because it is well below inflation, we've still been able to maintain transaction growth. As we move forward, inflation certainly has cooled, and therefore I don't expect any further price increases from the current level. So on Pizza Hut, traditionally quarter 2 in any case is a good quarter. When you look at KFC, between quarter 2 and quarter 3, there's a little bit of seasonality that operates. Typically, quarter 2 is a festival month, and therefore greater proportion of vegetarianism applies here. But quarter 1 strong, quarter 2 plus quarter 3 also will be strong.
So just in terms of, price hike and the fast price hike that has happened. So, generally you would take a 3, 4, 5% hike, but this time around things have been different and everybody across the board has increased prices. How much of a lag effect generally it takes for the demand to come back? What is the traditional number and what do you expect it now? Because it's been a sharper than anticipated hike.
You're quite right. 9% price increases we've not seen, say, in KFC for 4 or 5 years. But because because the entire industry, not only QSR, but all consumer products have raised prices perhaps higher than what we have raised, this has got masked a little bit. From a transaction perspective, we still grew healthily in terms of transactions in quarter 1. But again, one doesn't know what the real underlying transaction growth is, because last year was depressed because of COVID restrictions. So as I look at things in general, we still seem to be delivering transaction upside. I think right now I don't see any alarm bells.
Right. Just in terms of competition coming in, you think the market itself is also growing in, so that doesn't matter because market share would be maintained?
Yeah, so if you look at 10 years ago, there was one large player that was operating. And I think my personal consumer product experience and history has been that you require several people to be able to really galvanize an industry and improve consumer participation in that industry. And now if you look at, you've got 4 or 5 large QSR brands and companies that are creating noise or positive noise in this space. And therefore, it's only good for the industry. We will see the QSR industry as a result of which growing healthily.
Sanjay, we're going to leave it at that. A good set of numbers. The market's also speaking up since the results had come out. The next time we have you on the channel, we're going to focus more on if you're doing some more product launches. We're hearing about things like cheese parathas from Domino's. So I'm sure there are going to be some interesting launches that we can talk to you about when it comes to KFC as well as Pizza Hut. That conversation for another time. Good set of numbers. And that's the stock for you on your screens.